This is a PSA for anybody who might be doing like flat billing. I don't know if you've got Georgia Power like I do, if you're watching in chat right now, but for the last few years, my power bill has been exorbitant. For anybody who doesn't know, I've had power bills that started at about $340, and then they creeped up to like $800 some odd dollars. And then to try to lower their cost down, I went to flat bill in order to make those costs anywhere near reasonable. And by reasonable, I of course mean $480 per bill. Now, I realized that the problem was we lived in the humid Georgia South, and we were using window units to take care of everything in the house, and the house happens to be an old trailer that was converted into real property. This means that despite the fact that I have things like a basement and a foundation, the house that is located on the top is unfortunately not well insulated because it has the insulation of a trailer from the 50s or 60s. Not super great. It's also why things tend to fall apart in this house as often as they do. Now, again, it's this weird scenario where if somebody drives up to my house, again, they see a solid concrete foundation and a basement and all kinds of stuff that you shouldn't have if you're a trailer, but that's because the way this thing was built was weird. And one of the negatives of that, like I was saying, is that insulation. So recently, one of my patrons was kind enough to pay for getting us the equipment, not anything else on top of that, but the equipment, along with parts, or I say not anything else, but food and parts were paid for as well by this patron. All that we needed to do was get somebody who knew how to do HVAC stuff to come and help take care of it. And luckily, one of my mods actually is one of those kinds of people. So they traveled up here, and me and Dorito and a handful of friends installed air conditioning into my house. And I was super excited. Like, ridiculously excited that with this new air conditioning, we would not have power bills that were quite as high as they were. Now, let me show you kind of why I thought that, and then you're going to see what this ended up turning into. So I'm going to have to screenshot this so that we don't get me doxxed randomly, because it is power tied to my address, so if I grab it, there is always the chance that it's going to do stupid shit. But let me go ahead and screenshot this right here. And then we're just going to paste this over here. I'm going to throw this over to Dorito because he'll figure it out. And here's what I was looking at. This right here, screenshotted. So you can see right about here, this is a month after my $800 bill when we said, fuck it, we're going to flat bill because we need to be able to survive. And you can see kind of the gray line is the actual power usage. The green is the amount of money that we had to pay. So we've been paying $488 per month, $488.12 per month specifically in order to get all of this taken care of. And fun fact, you can actually see those bills here. So first things first, we've generally been about a month behind on power because of course we are. The power bill is like $500 fucking dollars. In what world are most people going to be able to afford that? I can't afford that in a single paycheck, so I have to spread that out across the month. So, did my first payment of $250, half of one of the power bills, and of course we're a month behind because that is what happens when you're dealing with numbers like that. And today, when I woke up, I was greeted to something that freaked me the fuck out, and as a result, I kind of oopsied and ended up paying my entire power bill that was left instead of the power bill that I should be paying. I should have been paying another $250, and instead I just clicked on current balance in my sleepy amount. So, check this out. This is what I woke up to. So remember, I've just shown you my bills, $488 per month, and I was excited that since our bill estimates, look at this gray line, there's only a couple of days where it peaked, and then for a good little over a third of this time, we've had usage that is nowhere near what it was since we've gotten the AC installed. And this is what I woke up to. Now, you can't see because my face is in front of it, but how much do you think the number behind me is? How much do you think my flat bill was recalculated to be? Just take a guess. Let me know in the chat. And if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe also take a look and just guesstimate in the comment section. We've got over 1,000. We've got 800, 500. Man, y'all are just used to me getting bent over, aren't you? Y'all are way too used to me getting bent over. I am still getting bent over, just not quite as bad. Here, let me.
New tip from Cyrus aka Sui's daddy.
What the fuck?
Cyrus aka Sui's daddy supported with 150. Take my money. Do not argue.
That sounded oddly dominant for the person that I know is Sylvie. But also, thank you. But also, that's an and a half? Fuck off and fuck you. But also, thank you. Jesus, fuck. Again, I think it's Sylvie. I saw Cirrus, and there's only one person in my chat that is ridiculously into that particular character. So much so that they commissioned porn of that character. And I'm just going to assume it was you. Maybe I am incorrect. Asita says, that monthly or annually? That's monthly. Thank you for your participation in Flat Bill. Your Flat Bill amount has gone from $488 to $444. So yeah, my brain kind of short-circuited on that one. I was not super thrilled about that. Stoff says, there's also only one person that calls you daddy and it's not Sylvie. Yeah, but I don't see Jessica here. Sylvie says, I didn't send that, but I definitely commissioned the porn. Okay, then who sent that? Because I want to thank you, but if I say I want to thank you properly, that now sounds oddly sexual, and that's not what I'm trying to get at, but also thank you. Smiling says, is that your monthly power bill? Ouch. Yeah, so that is the monthly power bill after it got lowered, as evidenced by, here's my power bills from before, taken directly from my billing. So, yeah. So yeah, I definitely was not in the right state of mind when I woke up today in any way, shape, or form. That threw me through a fucking loop. And if you want to know what the number should look like, I can tell you exactly what the number should look like. Because Georgia Power also tells me what my bill should look like based on my usage. This is what my bill should look like. 143 to 193. Somebody says, yeah, me and my roommate cannot fucking survive at all if the rent is at least $900 a month and the power bill's $450 to $500. Yep. Anselin says it'll take a year to get a new, better calculation. Yep. Kazumi says, how the fuck is your monthly power bill $440? My monthly power bill's like $130 Canadian. Yeah, so Kazumi, check it out. Check it out. This right here is what my power bill should be. Now that we've gotten the new AC installed, even without getting proper insulation set up in the house, which even if we did get proper insulation in the house, I'm fairly certain there would be some wild animal that would just eat it, because I've had that happen before. I live in the woods. Dry Moxie says, why is the amount you have so high compared to the estimate amount? So here's the reason why. Because remember that this is all calculating based off of a combination of 5 months with the new air conditioning setup and 7 months, a little over 7 months, with the old air conditioning setup. So there's a little more weight put on, and also some of the time with the old air conditioning setup was during the middle of winter when we were having to use space heaters to take care of the house. So all of these numbers are ridiculously inflated from when we didn't have access to AC or heat, because that also meant that our heat furnace wasn't working. Averaging those out together, you get to the exorbitant bill that we had then. And me, of course, waking up to the bill being, fuck me in the ass, I don't want your dumb shit numbers. But anyway, this means that likely next month won't be as bad because I've already paid that power bill in advance. Technically, And I've gone off of flat bill. I called Georgia Power direct, like literally after I overpaid on the power bill on accident right here. Right after I did that, I said, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. Which normally would be a joke about suicide, but that's not what it is this time. No, that was me saying, fuck it, I can't do it anymore. Calling Georgia Power saying, get me off of flat bill. Like, as soon as I saw what my power usage was supposed to be, I was like, no. Get me on these numbers. Fuck off and get me on these numbers. Seffi says, so your booty be horny, it seems? Anything but. Like, I am so tired of being rubbed raw by shit like this. Like, you have no idea. Just tired. Burrito says, I'm pretty sure that $9.93 is what they deemed you hadn't paid over the past 12 months. I don't know how much of that is next bill. Very good question. I think it's that. Who knows? I'll find out next month. But, Shooty Bob says, I strongly dislike flat billing. Yeah, see, I'm at the stage where I also strongly dislike flat billing. I needed to rely on it in order to survive because I can't pay $800 in a month on a power bill. That's not something that I can do. In fact, that's not something that I think most people can do. Even people who are more well-to-do, I don't think that can do. Dorito Dave says, normally flat bill at the end of the 12 months will give you a credit or a debit, depending on how much you actually used versus what you paid monthly. Yeah, see, I think that's dumb. I think that's really dumb. Like, the credit, sure, but the debit? Hey, you were on flat bill, but actually we're going to make you pay even more money? No. Smiling Game Master says, yeah, 800 would be out of the question for me, and I have a great job. And 800, like I literally showed you, 800 has been my bill once. Dorito Dave says, it makes sense, though. So, it makes sense, but I'm also of the opinion that if there is a company that is going to sell themselves as hard as Georgia Power tries to do on, we're doing right by you, and yet they do shit like this, like, I don't know. Like, I get it. Technically, if they're going to offer a credit at the end as a possibility, they need to offer the debit at the end as a possibility. But at the same time, those numbers are dumb as shit. Dorito says, I would like to see flat bill more of a rolling 12 months over the static that it is. Jump Point says, we're doing great by you by bending you over. Right, yeah, Georgia Power begins and ends by saying, congratulations, now that we're done with you, you have hemorrhoids. Like, ugh. Sylvie says, I legit need to get the assistant manager at my work, just for the fucking chance for me. I'm going to try to leave on our own. How the fuck are you and Saki able to survive off of these numbers? So, Sylvie, the beginning and end of that is quite literally because of the graciousness of all of you. So, Patreon. Like, unironically, I do not make a living wage off of YouTube or Twitch. Patreon combines with those things in order to create a living wage for me. And I'm also in a privileged position in terms of where I live. Not that Georgia is a great place to live in general, but also Smiling GM. Holy fucking shit. Thank you very much for giving out 10 community subs. I'm privileged to live where I am because I have a mortgage. And mortgages are cheaper than rent. Japagio says, what do you mean? Don't you and your partner make enough money to live? Not off Twitch and YouTube. The only reason that I make enough money to survive is because of Patreon. Like, a combination of Patreon and the tips that are added on top of things during, like, earlier, when 150 was dropped by one of my viewers who went unnamed, and when Liz dropped $100 as well. Japagio says, I thought you were like a programmer or some shit. So, let's ignore the fact that I'm terrible at code real quick, because I know CSS and HTML and C++ and JavaScript, and I have promptly forgotten literally all of that because I hate coding. But no, in reality, I am a content creator. I've been a full-time content creator for 7 of the 9 years that I have been doing content creation on this channel. Dorito Dave says Suris likes vibe coding. Vibe coding's not coding, that's just prompting. Axo says, I don't know code, but I had a ball python at one point. Is that close enough? Jesus Christ. Dorito also pointed out that the AC itself is an example. Community came together, got it purchased. Me and a few helped install, and we got it where it's cheaper per month for you, helping eventually alleviate your stress. This sucks, but damn, will it be easier going forward? Yeah, no, I agree. Literally, again, the only reason that I am able to survive is because I have a community that is incredibly helpful. Chapaggio says, C++, bro, you need to make some slop games. It doesn't even need to be good. Just spam that shit with terrible hentai titties. Sex sells, man. You'll get cash. Also, I'm on my game dev arc. Help me help you. Okay, so, like, I'm not gonna lie, if somebody wants to make some kind of like weird hyper addictive Suris game and split the earnings on it, I'm not gonna say no, but at the same time, like, if it even seems a little predatory, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. Dorito says, be even more better when the heat dome is gone and I can finish my car and come help me finish the rest off. You know, I wanted to do this video to kind of show you guys what the update has been on the power situation, because I've been trying to be transparent about that situation for as long as I've been able to. Also, Glamour Claw says, I've been a plasma donor for 7 years. If I wasn't able to, I'd be in the Oprah room right now. So, fun fact, I struggle to donate plasma. I've tried. There is a plasma donation center that is near enough me, but apparently my veins are so fucky that when I go to donate plasma, they can barely get anything out of them. And that's even if I'm doing nothing but drinking like smoothies and like body armor and water the day before and the day of to stay as hydrated as possible. I still end up having to like sit there with the scrunchy ball, just pressing in and out, in and out, in and out, desperately trying to get any amount of blood out for it. Yeah, I got the crappy veins. Hype Man's Gaming says, Cheer 30, any plans on seeing the Odyssey and thoughts on the anti-woke backlash failing? I think it's funny that the anti-woke backlash is failing. Jump Point says, Suris needs to create a JRPG game from the world he created. Just saying. Man, you know, I would be more than willing to be creative director on a Rip Shift game if somebody wanted to build that shit. Glamour Claw says, I'm sorry, I was not saying you should donate. I was trying to relate to the you just trying to survive. So, okay. I appreciate that. It also just reminded me that I've also done the plasma donation thing, and that's the wall that I ran into, specifically. It said RPG Maker is in a bundle. I'm fanatical right now. I'm not trolling. It's only $15. Right, and then we run into the issue of me not being able to have the time to deal with that too. So that's something else that I need to go over real quick. I kind of talked about this on a Patreon video, but I want to throw it out here
from Ari
as well.
Ari supported with 50.
Ari, thank you so much. Also, you have the name of one of my favorite League of Legends characters. But also, thank you so much. Baggio says, look, I'm not saying you should, but donating genetic material pays much more than plasma. Right, but donating sperm also requires you to get involved in a program that is willing to accept your sperm. Smiling GM says, what do you think about the new Spaceballs movie coming out next year? I think it's going to be interesting. That's about all I can say. So what happened to Talking Blizzy? Talking Blizzy is not integrated with Ko-fi, and I don't think it's integrated with much other stuff right now since I had to redo my computer. Glamour says, ironically, I work at my plasma center, and the amount of people who struggle was an eye-opener. Also, the people who choose not to eat and then have reactions. Dorito says, don't fall for it. They want to hear your cummy-wummy stories. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so my other problem I'm running into right now is just a lack of time and being overwhelmed. So I'll let you know what my schedule is at the moment. I wake up. Oh, get it. Fucking names. CL, thank you very much for gifting out the community subs. I appreciate it a ton. Also, sorry for the name thing. This is the problem when I read something. My brain goes, yes, there's the word in my eyes. And then my brain catches up to that. Said I'm down to about 1.5 months. I understand. We will get there. We will get there. So my schedule for any given week right now is waking up on Monday to start work, getting my first Magic the Gathering video done. I've had to go down to 3 Magic the Gathering videos instead of the 5 I was doing. And then after that video is planned, shot, recorded, edited, and it is out, then it's time for me to immediately get on stream. After stream, I'm supposed to be recording an episode of Third Space Arcade as soon as I have the energy to, which I have not had the energy to because of the editor debacle that we had recently. For those who don't know, I spent $1,000 on an editor for Third Space Arcade, and they didn't edit any episodes. So now K-Fox is editor of Third Space Arcade. Yay! So yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Yeah, I got a free PC out of that. It isn't the first time I've been burned from something like that, but it is what it is. So they stole your money. They claim that they are willing to work on shorts right now. I've already cut that out of my everything. Like, I'm not even thinking about it at the moment. You said editors get paid that much? No. So, Japaggio, $1,000 is what they got paid for a multitude of episodes, and part of it was paid in me funding a computer for them. So, different scenario. But with that project running into the problems that it did, that has sucked out a lot of my enthusiasm for that project, but I'm still supposed to be recording starting next Monday again. After that, on Tuesday, I do it all again, but on Tuesday, I end the day with going to a Riftbound tournament, or a Riftbound thing. It's not even a tournament, it's just Nexus Night. Thursday is the tournament. And then Wednesday is, of course, today. I get up, I do my Magic the Gathering video for the day, I take care of any errands that need to be done, and then I am streaming up until usually when Rhino gets off. And then Thursday, it is stream for the entire day. Anything that I can do, anything that I need to do, up until the point where I have to go to the Riftbound tournament. And then once we get to Friday, that is my catch-up day. That's why you guys have been seeing me streaming on Fridays recently, because I have not been able to get all of my work done on my previous work days because of my timing restraints. It used to be that I gave myself 3 days off. Now I can only give myself 2 days off. And I'm also producing less work in those days. And I'm definitely burning on both ends of the candlestick at the moment. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So waking up to that power bill thing, definitely blue dick. So every one of you who has donoed and helped out so far, thank you. I appreciate it. Valis says ketchup day or catsup day. Get out. Sebi says, sirs, you need to go hug Saki right now. I mean, she's asleep. Fennec says, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Because I like to eat. Like, Valis, thank you for 10 community subs as well. I appreciate it greatly. But no, Fennec, if you really want to know the answer, it's because I like to eat. I like to be able to pay my bills. Like, I don't do Third Space Arcade just because I want to. I set up that project also as a way to network with other creators. I don't do the Magic the Gathering channel just because I want to. I do it because if I don't, then one of my hobbies is not something that I can write off on my taxes, and then I get bent over on taxes. I do enjoy doing the content on Cirrus MTG, and I do enjoy doing my content on Riftbound that I've been able to do so far, but I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't specifically working my hobbies into my job so that my hobbies could be something that are a prop as opposed to a money sink. And then there's, of course, the main channel and everything else that goes out on this and NekoSuris. Like, there's things that I've been wanting to do on multiple channels that I can't do right now. I've been wanting to do my cooking channel, but I can't. I haven't had the time. I haven't had the wherewithal, but I want to. Not cooking channel, but the cooking episodes that we've done. Like, I want to do an episode on spaghetti because I feel like that's one of the easiest dishes for people to cook that can be customized and just made infinitely more flavorful than most people are willing to make it. Most people do marinara, meat, noodles, and anybody who's been over to my house when I make spaghetti can promise you that what I make blows your fucking socks off by comparison. So I want to do that if I can find the time. But anyway, there's the financial updates on stuff. There's everything. This is going to go out on NekoSurisLIVE because this is not the kind of thing that should go out on main channel. We got some stuff to talk out on the main channel specifically here in a minute. Jump Point says, we have socks still? Yeah, the trans girl programmers all have socks, specifically the kind of socks you know they have. So he says, Osiris, I learned how to make house-made fettuccine Alfredo for less than $10. Just now, need to find a way to fucking meal prep because every time we make it only makes enough for one meal, me and the roommate. you use a bigger thing. Like, I cook in a vat. Like, I cook in a soup pot that is about 1.5 feet tall and about 1 foot wide. And I'll cook in that, and that will let me make meals for me and Saki, even a guest if we have one over, and still have like 4 or 5 things of food prep. The issue why we can't meal prep is you can't store the food. I mean, if you can't freeze your food, then you can't freeze your food. There's not a whole lot you can do at that point. Axo says, you seem like a forever soup person. I mean, my deep fryer's a forever soup thing right now. Like, unironically, even when I clean out my deep fryer and dump out all of the oil that was in it, I take a cup and I grab some of the old oil from the deep fryer, and then I throw that old oil back into the new oil of the deep fryer, because you have no idea how much flavor is packed in the old oil of your fryer. And if you get rid of all of your old oil, you're just cooking in flavorless grease after that point. CL says, I'll trust you on this. Trust me. Trust me on that. If you are deep frying, please keep some of the old grease. It absorbs every flavor of everything you've ever cooked in it. So don't cook fish in your oil. That too. Anyways, there's updates. I'm going to end this video now before I go on another tangent. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagittarius, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.